The Great Recession, spanning from late 2007 to 2009, was primarily caused by the collapse of the subprime mortgage market in the United States. This led to a credit crunch in the global banking system, causing widespread economic turmoil and financial instability worldwide. The LGBTQ+ rights movement in the United States has been a driving force behind significant societal and political changes. This movement, which gained momentum over the years, has led to several milestones that have not only transformed the lives of LGBTQ+ individuals, but also influenced global discussions on human rights. One of the pivotal moments in LGBTQ+ history was the Stonewall riots in 1969. This series of protests against police raids at the Stonewall Inn in New York City marked the beginning of the modern LGBTQ+ rights movement. It galvanized the community to demand equal rights and an end to discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Another landmark achievement was the Supreme Court's ruling for marriage equality in 2015. The case of Obergefell v. Hodges led to a historic decision that legalized same-sex marriage across all 50 states. This decision not only granted LGBTQ+ couples the legal recognition and rights they deserved, but also set a precedent for other countries considering similar legislation. The United States has also played a significant role in advocating for LGBTQ+ rights on a global scale. Initiatives like the Global Equality Fund, launched in 2011, have supported efforts to promote LGBTQ+ rights in countries where discrimination and persecution are prevalent. U.S. leadership in this regard has been instrumental in advancing the cause of LGBTQ+ rights worldwide. On the economic front, the LGBTQ+ community's struggle for equal treatment and rights is closely linked to broader economic factors. Discriminatory laws and practices can hinder the size of the LGBTQ+ workforce and lead to economic disparities. Studies have shown that inclusive policies benefit not only LGBTQ+ individuals, but also the economy as a whole. Discrimination can result in lost productivity and hinder economic growth. The Great Recession, which began with the subprime mortgage crisis in 2007, had profound global consequences. It was characterized by the collapse of major financial institutions, a housing market crash, and a severe credit crunch. While it originated in the United States, its impact quickly spread worldwide, leading to recessions in many countries. This demonstrated the interconnectedness of the global economy and the potential for financial crisis in one country to affect the entire world. The Great Recession, spanning from late 2007 to 2009, stands as one of the most significant economic crises in modern history. It was ignited by the financial crisis of 2007 and 8, which had its epicenter in the United States, but quickly reverberated across the globe. At its core, the Great Recession was a result of several interlinked factors. Risky lending practices within the U.S. housing market played a pivotal role. Subprime mortgages, granted to borrowers with weak credit histories, became widespread, leading to a housing bubble that eventually burst, causing home values to plummet. Complex financial instruments, including collateralized debt obligations, CDOs, further exacerbated the crisis. These opaque financial products bundled various loans, making it difficult to assess their true risk. Regulatory failures also played a role, as oversight mechanisms struggled to keep pace with the evolving financial landscape. The consequences were profound. Major financial institutions collapsed or required massive bailouts, creating a credit crunch that stifled economic activity. Unemployment surged, and global trade contracted. Central banks worldwide took extraordinary measures to stabilize their economies. The seemingly disparate topics of LGBTQ+ rights and the Great Recession offer a unique lens through which to view the intricate relationship between social and economic dynamics. Firstly, the USA's advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights exemplifies its commitment to human rights and social progress. Over the years, the nation has witnessed a transformative shift in attitudes and policies towards LGBTQ+ individuals. Milestones, such as the legalization of same-sex marriage and the push for anti-discrimination laws, have demonstrated a commitment to fostering inclusivity and equality. This social evolution reflects a broader recognition that a diverse and inclusive society can lead to greater innovation and social cohesion, contributing positively to the economy. Conversely, the Great Recession serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of the modern global economy. This financial crisis, originating in the United States, had cascading effects worldwide, leading to recessions in many countries. It underscored the vulnerability of economies to external shocks and highlighted the need for effective international cooperation and regulatory oversight. The Great Recession of 2007 and 8 Often referred to as the most severe economic crisis since the Great Depression, was a complex and multifaceted event with far-reaching consequences for the United States and the global economy. Elaborating on the key factors and the profound impact they had on various aspects of society and finance can provide valuable insights into this critical period. 1. Financial crisis of 2007 and 8. At the heart of the Great Recession was the financial crisis that unfolded in 2007. It stemmed from a confluence of factors, including the bursting of the housing bubble, the proliferation of subprime mortgages, and the excessive use of complex financial instruments like mortgage-backed securities. Major financial institutions faced insolvency, with Lehman Brothers' collapse being a defining moment. The crisis was exacerbated by severe credit crunch, as banks became reluctant to lend to one another and consumers. 2. Globalization and interconnectedness. The global nature of financial markets and the interconnectedness of economies meant that the problems in the U.S. financial sector swiftly transcended national borders. As financial institutions across the world were exposed to the toxic assets originating from the U.S. housing market, the shockwaves quickly spread. International trade and financial systems transmitted the economic turmoil, leading to recessions in numerous countries. 3. Domino effect. The United States, as one of the world's largest economies, played a pivotal role in the global economic landscape. When it faced a downturn, the ripple effect was felt globally. Businesses and financial institutions in other countries suffered, and unemployment rates surged. This synchronized global recession highlighted the vulnerability of economies to external shocks. 4. Government response. In response to the crisis, governments around the world implemented various measures to stabilize their financial systems and stimulate economic growth. In the United States, the Troubled Asset Relief Program, TARP, and stimulus packages were introduced to inject liquidity into the banking sector and boost consumer spending. Central banks lowered interest rates to historic lows to encourage borrowing and investment. 5. Long-term effects. The Great Recession left a lasting imprint on the economic and regulatory landscape. It triggered a reevaluation of financial oversight and regulations, leading to the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act. This legislation aimed to prevent a recurrence of the crisis by imposing stricter regulations on financial institutions. Additionally, the crisis had profound effects on unemployment and housing markets, with many individuals and families facing foreclosure and job loss. LGBTQ+ rights and the Great Recession, an intricate intersection. The intertwining of LGBTQ+ rights and the Great Recession reveals a complex relationship between social progress and economic impact. Here's an expanded discussion on each aspect: social progress and economic impact. Advancing LGBTQ+ rights in the United States has significant economic benefits. Equal rights create an inclusive workforce, removing barriers like discrimination. This fosters diversity and skill, boosting economic productivity. Inclusive workplaces are more innovative and contribute to overall economic growth. LGBTQ+ rights are both a moral imperative and an economic catalyst. Stonewall riots and the power of activism. The Stonewall riots of 1969 marked a turning point in LGBTQ+ history, highlighting not only the fight for social justice, but also the economic impact of discrimination. LGBTQ+ activists sought equal rights, including employment opportunities, recognizing the link between workplace equality and economic prosperity. Stonewall's legacy underscores the economic dimensions of the LGBTQ+ rights advocacy. Marriage equality and economic benefits. The 2015 Supreme Court decision on marriage equality not only advanced civil rights, but also yielded economic gains. Same-sex marriage legalization eliminated financial hurdles, granting LGBTQ+ couples access to joint tax filing, inheritance rights, and healthcare benefits, enhancing financial stability and community economic security. Global advocacy and economic diplomacy. The U.S. champions LGBTQ+ rights globally, recognizing the economic impact. Discrimination can impede economic partnerships and investments. U.S. leadership in advocating LGBTQ+ rights bolsters diplomatic and economic relations with rights-focused nations, aligning ethics and economic interests for global equality and prosperity. Great Recession and economic vulnerabilities. The Great Recession of 2007 to 2009 exposed the economic vulnerabilities of marginalized communities, including LGBTQ+ individuals. Discrimination can limit access to stable employment and financial security, making these communities more susceptible to economic downturns. It highlighted the urgency of addressing economic disparities and discrimination to build a more resilient and equitable society. Inclusive policies and economic growth. Inclusive policies safeguarding LGBTQ+ rights boost social justice and fuel economic growth. Research highlights that diverse, inclusive workplaces foster innovation and productivity, benefiting employers and the overall economy by harnessing diverse skills and talents for economic advancement. As this video comes to an end, the Great Recession was primarily triggered by the U.S. subprime mortgage crisis, while the LGBTQ+ rights movement in the U.S. demonstrated the intersection of social progress and economic impact, emphasizing the importance of inclusive policies for both societal and economic well-being.